Hey there guys, and welcome back to Cybercom Gaming. Now, the time has come to finally get together and discuss 20 of our favorite and in our opinion greatest Star Wars games. This is perhaps one of the more difficult lists we ever got together, but you know what? After a few discussions with the gaming community, after a few debates, revisions, rewrites, we feel like we finally managed to get this one down.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Now guys, look, this list is going to look different for a number of you guys, and that is totally cool. But for us, based on our connection with these games, we feel pretty happy to put this one forward. So we hope you guys enjoy, and remember,
may the Force be with you.
Okay, now Star Wars is a franchise so successful that its universe has invaded just about every type of media there is. The first film was released back in 1977, predating widely available video game consoles, but the rise of video gaming gave Star Wars a whole new area of entertainment to conquer. In the decade since 1983, Star Wars on the Atari 2600, there has been hundreds of games that has taken players on adventures all over the galaxy in different genres and playing as different characters. What follows is the seemingly impossible task of boiling down 40 years worth of Star Wars games into a list of the top 20 Star Wars games of all time. So yeah, with all of that said, let's get it. Alright guys, here we go. So kicking this list off and setting it on number 20, we wanted to include Star Wars Masters of Teras. Now, this first game on this list is unique for being the first and last standalone fighting game based on the Star Wars universe. It was developed internally at LucasArts for the original PlayStation console and was released back in 1997. This game takes place between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi and follows Emperor Palpatine's retaliation to the rebels, destroying the Death Star by hiring an assassin trained in the martial art of Teras. Playable characters included a roster of legendary Star Wars characters such as Boba Fett, Darth Vader, Han Solo, and Luke Skywalker. Man, I lost this game back in the early 2000s, but yeah, I managed to get it back a few years ago. Now I know the gameplay balance is a bit off, but you know what? This is mostly driven by nostalgia. Alright peeps, at number 19, we've added Star Wars Battlefront. Now 2015 Star Wars Battlefront was the reboot of a legendary video game series from the PlayStation 2 era. Developed by DICE and Criterion Games, this rebooted Battlefront made use of the new Star Wars canon following Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm. This game had a notable lack of content upon its release, but really did make up for it with that fantastic graphics thanks to DICE's Frostbite 3 engine, tight gameplay, and all of the iconic playable characters. Look, also the downloadable content, which was later released, it added new maps like Jabba's Palace and new characters including Lando Calrissian. Oh yes, a tie-in with Rogue One, a Star Wars story, was also released that added the tropical planet of Scarif along with Jyn Erso as a playable character. Okay, for number 18, we've got LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. This just recently released LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is the complete version of the LEGO Star Wars franchise. Previous games took you through a handful of films, but this time, this one tackles all 9 Star Wars films in order, with a total of 45 levels, 5 levels per episode. In typical LEGO Star Wars fashion, the game had an absolute massive roster of playable characters, over 380 to be exact. Some of the playable characters are from other Star Wars properties outside of the 9 mainline films, such as The Mandalorian and The Bad Batch. Alright people, we're getting down to our number 17 spot, and we wanted to include Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now this 2005 video game tie-in to the final film in the prequel trilogy was developed by LucasArts and follows the events of the film, with players taking control of both Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. The game was actually released before the film and features 12 minutes of actual footage and various cutscenes. The game also featured a multiplayer mode that took the form of a fighting game, not as similar from Masters of Teras cutscene, which you could face off against or play as many characters from the film, including Count Dooku, General Grievous, and Mace Windu. Darth Vader and Ben Kenobi from the original film can also be unlocked. Look, this game is super fun. It just takes a few hours to complete. Though it's a More of a one and done type of game, we still had a lot of fun playing it. So yeah, check this one out if not already. Okay, for number 16, we've got Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron. Now this game was the first Battlefront title to appear exclusive on a handheld console. It was developed exclusively for Sony's PSP by Rebellion Developments and published by LucasArts back in 2007. Featured classic Battlefront gameplay with several changes. Namely, instead of selecting a class for your character, you were able to build their skills and specialities with deep customization. This game was headlined by a campaign mode that took place between the Battle of Yavin and the Battle of Endor. It also featured a full multiplayer for up to 16 players online, or 8 players on a local connection. That was actually pretty cool. Heading into our 15th spot, we've got Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. Now despite the 2 in this title, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast is actually the 3rd title in the Star Wars Jedi Knight series. Direct sequel to Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, this 2002 game takes place in the Star Wars Expanded Universe and once again follows fan favorite character Kyle Katarn, a former Jedi and current mercenary. Like other games in the Jedi Knight series, the gameplay was a combination of hack and slash, melee combat and shooter gameplay, with force powers tied to a meter also being available after a point. Players would advance through linear levels and interact with NPCs while also solving the occasional puzzle. At 14, we wanted to include Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Now, this game was released back in 2008 and was LucasArts' attempt to bring Star Wars into the modern age of video game technology. It was built on the back of several game engines: LucasArts' Ronin, Havoc for advanced physics, Digital Molecular Matter for dramatically destructible environments, and the Euphoria engine for AI. All of these systems combine to deliver on the game's title and make you feel like a massively powerful Force wielder. As Starkiller, you would use the Force to rip through walls, bend metal, and shatter glass in realistic ways. Man, this was such a cool game. Alright guys, here we go. For number 13, we are noting down Battlefront 2. Now this next game is a sequel to the original Star Wars Battlefront released back in 2004. It was developed by Pandemic Studios and published by LucasArts. It features many improvements over its predecessor, including new vehicles, maps, characters, and mechanics. The game's campaign locations are split into 2 eras, the Clone Wars and the Galactic Civil War, with each era featuring different playable factions. The biggest addition to Battlefront 2, though, was the inclusion of playable hero characters from the Jedi and Sith sides of the Force. Now these characters did exist in the previous game, but only as non-playable reinforcement characters. And heading down to our number 12, we wanted to include the Old Republic. Okay, Star Wars The Old Republic is an MMO that was developed by BioWare Austin and published by Electronic Arts. It was released back in 2011 and allowed players to play as either a Sith or Jedi character and could be customized with 8 classes, each of which has its own storyline. While players must choose to be a Sith or Jedi, they could be anywhere between the light or dark morality spectrum. The game is reportedly one of the most expensive games ever made, with a budget of $200 million. Just imagine that. However, the Old Republic is extremely popular and has made over $1 billion in its lifetime revenue, easily covering the cost of its development. Now, even though, yes, it is an extremely popular game, we decided to keep this one locked in at our number 12. At 11, Star Wars Jedi Starfighter. Now, this 2002 fight combat action game was developed and published by LucasArts and serves as a sequel to Star Wars Starfighter. Now, the story takes place between the Attack of the Clones and had players controlling many vehicles from throughout the Star Wars canon. The gameplay mainly involves defending friendly ships while shooting down enemy ships, while also completing hidden objectives to unlock bonus missions and starfighters. Now, Jedi Starfighter adds cool new Force weapons, which are powerful, screen-clearing attacks that are tied to a cooldown. Okay, we're going a bit old school with our number 10. Yep, this has to be Star Wars Dark Forces. Now, this classic Star Wars game is a 1996 first-person shooter set in the expanded universe and follows Kyle Katarn, a mercenary who discovers a secret galactic empire called the Dark Trooper Project. The game uses a specially designed Jedi game engine which allowed Dark Forces to be more dynamic and complex than other first-person shooter games available at the time. So yeah, look, we love retro gaming, Star Wars and first-person shooters, so naturally we're going to include this one. And racing through to our number 9, we've got Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Now, 1999 Star Wars Episode 1 Racer is a game that captures the thrill of pod racing scenes of the first film in the prequel trilogy. It has all the racers and iconic courses from the film, as well as several new courses and different planets and new racers. Gameplay is a careful balance of boosting with engine stability, as boosting too much will cause your engine to overheat and explode. Oh yeah, the actors for young Anakin Skywalker and Sebulba reprised their roles to voice the characters in the game. But look, it was fast-paced, fun, and stuck to that Episode 1 feel. The game also, in our opinion, aged really well. Well guys, we're already at our number 8, and we needed to play Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. Now, this is the 4th entry in the Jedi Knight series and serves as a direct sequel to Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Outcast. Damn, that's a lot of Jedis. Instead of the series hero, Kyle Katarn, the entry follows Jaden Core, a student at the titular Jedi Academy run by Luke Skywalker himself. Kyle Katarn fans need not to worry, as the longtime hero is in the game as Core's mentor. Classic Jedi Knight gameplay in both first and third person is used as Core investigates the disciples of Ragnos, a dark Jedi cult, while learning how to be an effective Force user. Well look guys, this is really a good Star Wars game, and definitely one for the books. For our lucky number 7, we've got Star Wars TIE Fighter. Now this game is a flight simulator set in the Star Wars universe. It was developed by Totally Games and released back in 1994. Star Wars TIE Fighter is an entry in the coveted X-Wing series of games and follows an Imperial fighter pilot as they navigate the battles taking place between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Now this 3D action game is played in first-person perspective from the cockpit view of the TIE Fighter. Now this is not really a flight simulator,
Pause.
but more of a steer and blast to enemies and call it a day. Look, I still, after all these years, remember the game's graphics, and for some reason, I mean, looking at it now, but yeah, I mean, for back then, it was pretty great. TIE Fighter also had spot-on gameplay. It just brings a lot of good memories and a lot of nostalgia. Actually, this is still one of the best. For number 6, we are including Star Wars Squadrons. 2020 Star Wars Squadrons is a space combat game in the same vein as the X-Wing series, serving as a kind of spiritual successor. It was developed by Motive Studios and published by Electronic Arts, and features a single-player story campaign as well as a fully featured multiplayer suite. The story campaign takes place after Return of the Jedi and alternates between the New Republic and Galactic Empire squadrons, delivering both sides of the story. Star Wars Squadrons is a great game, gives you that immersive atmosphere, great gameplay, and spot-on graphics. You guys should definitely check this one out, if not already. Number 5, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. After a long drought of single-player focused Star Wars games, Respawn Entertainment delivered Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order back in 2019. This game takes place after Revenge of the Sith and follows a former Padawan in hiding called Cal Kestis. After a work event causes him to reveal his powers, Cal goes on the run. Hunted by Inquisitors, Cal joins up with a former Jedi and pilot to finish his Jedi training and restore the Jedi Order. The gameplay is styled after Dark Souls and games in the Metroidvania genre, where previously inaccessible areas can be explored after backtracking with a brand new power or gadget. Yo, we're big Metroidvania fans, and I guess probably this is why it's at our number 5, but you guys gotta check this one out if not already. Okay, for number 4, Star Wars Republic Commando. Okay, now Star Wars briefly explored the tactical first-person shooter genre in 2005 with Star Wars Republic Commando. This Rainbow Six-ish game put players in control of Delta Squad, a special ops outfit for the Galactic Republic during the Clone Wars. As RC-1138, you'll navigate through various levels to deliver orders for your squad using complex, sensitive orders. Man, this game also featured Xbox Live support for online multiplayer gameplay. Dude, it's been like 17 years and we're still waiting for that sequel. Alright, for number 3, we've got Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Okay, now this game puts you into the Mandalorian armor of Jango Fett during his Bounty Hunter days before the events of Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. The game's story covers Jango's backstory, including how he acquired his iconic ship, the Slave One. This is a third-person action-adventure game where you use Jango's many weapons and gadgets to hunt down bounties and deal with various enemies and creatures. You even get to use his jetpack, flamethrower, and missiles. Alright guys, for our second spot and a game released back in 2004, we've got Star Wars Battlefront. Released by Pandemic Studios, Star Wars Battlefront was the first of its kind game in the Star Wars universe. Put players in the shoes of the infantry of the opposing forces of the Star Wars canon in some of the largest battles of the franchise. The goal of the game is to overpower your opponent by capturing all of the command posts and holding them, or eliminate all the enemy's reinforcements. This game even features over 25 land and air vehicles to increase the destruction. Now look, if you're a fan of Star Wars games, gotta check this one out. Alright guys, now before we get on to that number 1, we just wanted to take a second to acknowledge these following titles. Though they are not on this list, we still definitely enjoy playing these games. I mean, with so many great Star Wars games out there, we're sure we missed out on a few ones. So without any further delay, here's a few honorable mentions. Alright, now we finally made it to our top Star Wars game, and what better game than Knights of the Old Republic. Now look, this choice did not come easily, but ultimately it's just the most wildly praised Star Wars game of all time, period. This game is developed by BioWare and published by LucasArts. It's a role-playing game in the classic BioWare style with excellent writing, memorable characters, and moment-to-moment decisions that carry weight. I mean, you could create your own character by selecting 1 and 3 character classes as well as different skills, feats, and force powers later in the game. Combat is round-based and each action is calculated using a behind-the-scenes D20 system. a feature actually lifted from Dungeons and Dragons. Ultimately, we're happy and proud to note this one at our #1 greatest Star Wars game.
Time to rumble.
Guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video and for sticking around. If you're still here, thank you. Ultimately, this is a very subjective list and a very subjective, topic. As a gaming channel, I feel like listing down a top 20 Star Wars games list is it's a bit it is a bit risky. But for us, we've got a lot of personal connection to the franchise and to a lot of these games. But let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you guys. If you did like this video, please consider giving us a like, subscribe, and share this one. That would really help us out. But as always, thank you so much for all the continued support. And take care of yourselves. And until next time, see ya.